This is Excel 2016, Module 10, Part 5. We're going to be continuing on with the Scenario Manager, looking at the Scenario Summary Report and the Scenario Pivot Table Report. So let's get back into our Cultivar workbook. We're going to go back into our what if analysis and choose Scenario Summary. So that is off of the Data tab of our ribbon. So we have our scenarios already entered. So what you're going to do is you are going to click on the Summary button. We are going to start out by creating a scenario summary. Now, if I needed to select non-adjacent ranges, that can be done here. So if you wanted to check the fixed expenses and the net income, you could hit the Control key and click on the other option. If you just want to select a range of cells, then you're going to click on the first one, which is B26, and drag down to B28. Once you have those selected, you'll click OK. And you will see that it creates a new worksheet named the Scenario Summary. And on this particular worksheet, it shows us every single scenario as well as what we currently have in the equation. It also shows us the result cells for those. This is a great place on your homework so that you can review all of your data entry and make sure you have no typing errors in either the data points or the scenario names. Because we named our cells, we get the names here, making this a more readable report. Had we not named the cells, it would say such perhaps B6, B7, and so forth. So it would just give you your cell references. Let's go back and take a look at our scenario pivot table. So again, you're going to go off the Data tab to What If Analysis and open up the Scenario Manager. Now, again, you need to go to the Summary button. The only change is that we are going to switch from the dot being in the Scenario Summary to putting it in the Pivot Table Report. When we do that, we can click OK, and it's going to go into our pivot table. It creates a new worksheet for us. Let's zoom that up a little bit to 120 so you can see it a little better. Now you can see that we can make changes to our pivot table the same way we did in the pivot table chapter. So if I wanted to set the number formatting, I would go into each one of these options and choose the value field setting. And I'm going to go to the number format option, and I'm going to choose currency with 0 decimal places. I'm also going to say that I would like the negative numbers displayed in red parentheses. And then I'm going to click OK. You would need to do that on each option. So if you have more than one field, you need to go in and set the number formatting on each one. So again, the number formatting we're choosing So we're going to value field settings, then number format, choosing currency, changing the decimals to 0, and choosing the red in the bracket. And if I don't want this information to be displayed up here, I can drag this off of the number filters. And then I could type a title in here and call this a scenario pivot table. Notice my pane disappeared. That's because I'm no longer on the pivot table. All you have to do to get that back is click on the pivot table. Now, if I wanted to turn this information into a pivot chart, I could click here and go to Analyze. As long as you're somewhere within the pivot table, you will get to this option, and you can choose Pivot Chart. Within the pivot chart, we're going to go ahead and accept our clustered column. And then we're going to go ahead and move that so that it's displayed in A8. And then we want it to stop in D19. So we need to shrink it up to D and then up to row 19. On this Analyze, we can choose this Show Field Buttons option and hide the field buttons. And now you have a chart as well as a pivot table showing you the revenue, expenses, and net income of all of your scenarios. So that concludes working with the Scenario Manager. When we come back, we'll be working with the Solver. So let's go ahead and save our workbook.